Hello. In today's video, I will be sharing a box of comics that I purchased at my local comic book store. If you haven't seen my other videos, I have these videos where the reason I'm showing them is I'm getting ready to sell on Whatnot. It's like a venue where you can run auctions and buy it nows. And I'm just raising awareness that I exist on there and showing you what you could buy up there. I have not gone live yet because I'm still trying to figure out all the kinks involved and the tech and all that. But if you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe. Please leave any kind of comments about what you think about what I found. Now, these boxes, normally, like in one of my other videos, I have a Deadpool box as an example of I pay $100 and I'm allowed to fill it up with all the comics that are in the offered selection, which there's tons at the store. And then, I mean, that's it. For the $100, you tell me how I did. Alright, so I picked up this X-Men 36 from the 90s. It's part of the Phalanx storyline where Generation X was being set up. If you go look for these, the first prints have these holographic looking things. The second prints will have a red bar. And this might be the first appearance of Sync. I'm not sure. His deal was if he gets close enough to other mutants, he can mimic a power. I'm not sure if he's alive anymore, but no one stays dead if he is. Anyway, that's one. I also got this X-Men. See, this is where it got hard to read which issues number they were. This is number 40. It's up here. And this features Legion. He got that show on FX. If you didn't know about it, if you do know about it, you know what I'm talking about, obviously. If you do not, then I highly recommend checking it out. It's very psychological. He's the son of Professor X, and it involves like he's got multiple personalities, and they each can do a different thing. Like one's pyrokinesis, and I forget all the other ones. Like, yeah, pyrokinesis, meaning he can make fire and stuff. But this Legion quest, this is part 2. Part 1 started in an Uncanny X-Men, which I think I have in this stack somewhere. The whole storyline is he messes with reality. This came out when I first quit comics. And I quit for like 2 years and then came back and had to catch up on it. And then, like, he messed up reality. Like, I think his father was killed or something, or he killed his father. And it changed time, and then it led to the Age of Apocalypse, where it's like, what if Apocalypse was running things since the X-Men would have started? And, but that's a whole nother thing to get into. But, let's see. And once I got the first Phalanx, like, once I dipped into that storyline in this run, I decided if I spotted more, I would buy them. And this is X-Men 37. This is part 4 of it, featuring Banshee and the White Queen on the cover. And then there were these things, Marvel Comics 1000, and it's 96 pages. It's a thick book, and it would have cost $10 if I bought it when it was new. For me, it looked like a very good purchase for the space that it would take up. And there's a few of those types. Like, here's another type of it. I don't know if it's the 1000th issue or not. This is number 6. I don't know, but it would have cost $5, and it looks like a cool cover featuring Thor, Daredevil, and so many things. Scarlet Witch, Cap, Cyclops. I mean, it's cool, and Submariner. Let's see here, and then here's one of the issue 1000s or whatever. This would have cost, yeah, this is a $10 one. It's a variety of little stories featuring almost all the characters. It looks like Howard the Duck's in there, for example. Cable, all sorts of people. So I figured, yeah, why not? Oh, and this one I was excited about. So in my other video, I show off the Marauders that I stumbled across, which is something I legitimately just wanted to read. This is Marauders Variant Edition featuring Storm. This would have been $5. There is some like stuff going on up here, but this was neat. This, I mean, my understanding is, well, this is almost a virgin cover because virgin covers don't have any kind of writing on them, but you do have a name, the artist here. So I don't know if that still qualifies as virgin or not. But I mean, definitely for the amount of space in these boxes, I had to go for it. Here's number 2 of the Marauders, and featuring the White Queen and the Black King from the Hellfire Club, and number 3 here with a version of Professor X, Iceman, Bishop, and Storm. I'm probably not going to go into all the who's on what deals. That takes too long. And I found a small bit of the Spider-Mans featuring Miles Morales, number 16 here. I just want to get a little taste of that. There weren't much of that to pick from. Now this was intriguing to me because it's, Spider-Man. It's number 5. It's up here. It's the writer. It looks like is J.J. Abrams. That was like his team have created a lot of stuff that I've liked, like Lost and the newer Star Treks. I mean, I like the old Star Treks even more, but the newer ones I like too. So I'm just kind of curious about these. And Spider-Man's pretty popular, so I figured maybe it'll sell. Number 2 of the same. Number 4. And we've got here number 24 of Spider-Man versus Deadpool, which I don't really know anything about other than they're pretty popular characters. And the art looks nice, so I figured I'd go for it. All right. Now, the Savage Avengers. A few years ago, this came up, and a friend of mine, he bought the first issue. Doesn't really buy comics anymore because he was interested in, he likes the Punisher, and Conan being in it was like a really cool thing for him. So then this time I kind of went back and he only got the first 2 issues, and then at this opportunity I grabbed up what I could of them in case he wants them, and maybe I'll read them or sell them. But here's number 18, a variant edition with Deadpool and Conan, and I don't know what that thing is, but that's it. And then number 17, we've got the same 2 guys on there. And I got another one. And this is Savage Avengers Empire Variant Edition number 1 with Conan and Venom on it. This is number 8 with Doctor Doom and Conan. I mean, I guess this is Conan's thing, the Savage Conan. I'm not sure, but he definitely looks like he's running this title. And then I found number 19 Variant Editions featuring Black Widow. There's another one in here somewhere, I think. And I grabbed a few what ifs just because if they don't sell, I could read them. This features Wolverine. And the what ifs I got, I believe I only got like X-Men related ones. I believe I have this in my collection somewhere from when it was new. It is with Phoenix possessed, who will save Professor X from the fury of Colossus? All right. Here's another Phalanx story because I did stumble across Wolverines and I don't have this part. I read this a long time ago, the Phalanx storyline, and this, and like there's an issue of Cable that I got in this stack. This would explain probably why when I read it, it was very disconnected. They skipped things, and it was because I might have like the X-Men and the Uncanny X-Men and the X-Force, but I didn't have like the individual titles like Wolverine and Cable, and then I'm missing something. That was part... Oh, I guess he kicked it off in part 1. That would explain why I really didn't know what was going on, maybe. So, I already have this. This is Uncanny X-Men 359 with Rogue on the cover. I really got it just because I think it's a pretty cover, and I have a feeling that there's enough X-Men fans and Pretty Women fans that this will probably get purchased. This is X-Men 323, and you have to look really closely down here to find the issue number. I'm going to try to sell like a lot of these together so it can be an effort in saving shipping for the buyer. This is 319 The issues now it's up there. But this features Angel or Archangel and Psylocke. And this is 318, where Jubilee leaves the team to go to be on Generation X. This is 324, which had to go down there. And this is Legion Quest Part 3 in Uncanny X-Men 321, featuring Bishop and Cable. Alright. And now, I was really excited about these because, like I said, I kind of quit comics back in 2012 when DC did the New 52. I became more of a DC fan by like the early 2000s, and Marvel I'd kind of dropped out of by 2004 or something like that. Just before whatever the House of M was, which was a cool story, but I was just kind of over the X-Men after like the movie blew up and what they were changed. Like they started modeling themselves after the movies, sort of, and then Grant Morrison came along and really killed it for me. No offense if you dig his work, but then he came along to the Batman world and messed that up for me too. Anyway, I was excited because I found like a whole run of these Avengers in modern times, and for the price I paid, this was really exciting to have like an instant resupply of a line that I had stopped collecting since at least 2003. So this is Avengers number 6. Now, what they do here is they have a legacy number, so it's technically issue number 713. So that helped me figure out to an extent what I needed to patch up some of my holes in my collection. But they didn't always do that, so then it becomes like, is this like, here's Avengers 12, and this is a Stan Lee, like it's dedicated to his life, and but it just became confusing as to, is this part of that? Is this its own thing? Like here's another one. This is Avengers 1 MU. I think that's Monsters Unleashed here. So then, these, you kind of had to be a detective or just figure it was worth grabbing. Now here's Avengers number 1, but it's technically issue number 691. Sorry if I'm not getting everything in the shot. But this got really exciting because then I found like a string of them. Here's number 2. And these were $4 books when they were new. Number 3. 4. Let me see if I can. Alright, 5. Maybe I can adjust this here. That might help. Yeah. Alright. So now I got here 6, obviously. 7. See how long it goes before I break the string. 8. We got a Submariner cover with number 9 here. Number 10. And number 11. So yeah, here's 12. So it is part of this line. I got a couple of those. 13. 14. 15. 16. Oh, cool. This is a 16. This is featuring Blade. So that's neat. I like seeing him pop up in these comics. And alright, and then we got 17. And then this is Avengers No Road Home number 1, but it's legacy number 708. And that's where it's really like, why do we have to call it number 1 when it's not number 1? But I get it. In comics for the longest time, it's, number 1s they're going to be worth money. But it just gets ridiculous when it's not number 1. It's just part 1 of a new storyline. But here's like 709, issue number 2 of the No Way Home. Issue number 3. And they are cool covers, in my opinion. And number 4. And number 6. So we broke. Number 5 must have been hot. Somebody must have died or first appeared or something. 7. We got Rocket Raccoon and Conan, and I don't know what that is creeping up on. We got She-Hulk and Thor there. Alright. So, I mean, look at that. All that. That was just, I mean, I don't even think I've hit half of this box yet that I've shown you. Alright. Avengers No Surrender. Issue 685 in the Legacy run. And that's kind of cool. Alright, now this is where the whatnot thing gets cool or exciting, in my opinion, because alright, so I've only got 16 followers, but one guy on there, his profile description says that he's into Lucifer and Hellblazer, which is John Constantine from DC. So once I saw that I had a follower that was into something, the next run I went to the comic store, I grabbed some Hellblazer just in case he tunes in and sees something he likes. So this is John Constantine Hellblazer number 1. It's the black label where it's not necessarily for little kids. I've only read like one black label so far. It was American Vampire 75 or something, 1975 or something. And the only thing in there that I thought was wild was some heads got cut off. But, I mean, that's not that crazy. But who knows? There could be all sorts of adult things going on in here. Then I also was able to find Hellblazer. Where's the 2? Alright, from the same line. Which, I mean, I'm probably going to read those because I could do with some Hellblazer. This is from the Rebirth line. This is number 1. I found a string of them. 2 with Swamp Thing on there. 3. 4. Those 2 seem to get paired up now. 5, I've noticed in like the DC Death Metal, well, that Swamp Thing's more prominently in the world. And there's like a Dark Avengers, which I think they are on with Wonder Woman. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, alright. So that was the Hellblazer dipping into that I got into. Then I found this Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy number 6 variant cover. I mean, that just looks awesome in my opinion. I might keep this for myself. It just, I don't know. I think it's cool. While I was digging around, I found this old Spiderman number 16 where he crosses over with the X-Force team. It's just really cool. This is a McFarlane cover here. And yeah, I mean, come on. I had to take it. Oh, and then I also have another Miles Morales. This is Spider-Man 17. This is what I was talking about, part 1 of that Legion storyline from X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 320. Now this one is like the Wizard edition. There was the price guide that they also had Wizard conventions until fairly recently. Now they're like the Comic Expo or something, or Fan Expo. But there was a gold edition of theirs that's not worth like anything more than a regular, I don't think, but I don't know, why not? Plus I'm trying to get that whole story so I can sell it to somebody. And we got all different Avengers, number 11 from 2016. And if I would assume this is connected to the legacy numbers, but it does not tell you if it's 650 or whatever. And this is all different Avengers number 12, or maybe it's its own thing with Miles Morales on the cover. I mean, that's a sick cover. Oh, all right. So this is Year of the Villains, Batman and the Outsiders number 6. So DC was doing this Deceased thing where their variant covers were featuring like undead versions. So that's what's going on there. Oh, now we got another Avengers. Number 3, where Wade was writing it. It's just the Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And once again, this would have cost $4. I mean, pretty much all of these that I've shown you, unless they're significantly old, were like $4 or $3 each when they were new. And then we got
From this day forth, Avengers, you work for the infamous Iron Man. Now, I actually kind of got this because not too long ago there was a Marvel Legends infamous Iron Man. Like, it's like a Doctor Doom Iron Man. And I didn't know anything about the version of the character. And I'm kind of curious to read this if it enlightens me what's going on there. That figure, by the way, if you blinked, you missed it. Like, I thought he was going to start popping up, but I only saw him like once. He's probably like, they're probably just like a warehouse with tons of them somewhere. And it just will pop up in Ollie's one day. It's a discount warehouse. And I highly recommend it if you've got one in your area. So, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers number 8. But, I mean, you got Captain America when Sam Wilson was him. You got a Spiderman, Hercules, Lady Thor, this Doom Iron Man. I'm guessing it's Doctor Doom because he looks like he's casting a spell. And then you got Wasp, or one of them, and Vision, and yeah, that's Lady Thor's cape. So then you got Avengers Classics. All right, so number 9. This is just a reprint of, like, I believe it's when Wonder Man first appeared. And I bought this just so that if not me, somebody else. It'll probably be like a giveaway, like on Whatnot. Some sellers like myself run giveaways, or I will. This is what the cover originally looked like. So the shipping's free. Like, the buyer does not pay anything. They literally get the item for free. And I think this is just a fun read for someone that might want to read like an old school comic and see how a character got started, or how these Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Wasp, Giant Man, how they really were portrayed when they were originally written about. So then I got Avengers 10 here, and this is part of some Hydra storyline. And I generally like Mark Waid's stories. That's the guy that writes these. This is number 9. I liked his work on, I mean, pretty much anything I've ever written, or I mean read that he's done. So he's a writer I trust. But I do recall hearing some people talking some hate a few years ago. I don't know. I'll take the risk. At the very least, building up this collection. So then we got number 6 here. Well, this is an homage to Vision's original appearance back in the late 60s. That's pretty much what it looked like. It was him standing and them all falling around. But this is like really polished up, like painted art type style. This is, you can't go wrong with number 1, right? Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, number 1's Now line, which I guess this is the beginning of Wade's line, unless he did multiple ones. And then this is number 7. It is a variant edition featuring 2 versions of the Ghost Rider, it looks like. Oh, shoot. Alright, and then I finally stumbled across some Power of Shazam. Now, this was cool. I mean, I had been looking for him, but just like I had mentioned in a previous video, like regarding Thor, I forgot that Thor's the Mighty Thor, so I was having a hard time finding him. And just like this, I was having a hard time finding Shazam because it's actually the Power of Shazam. Or at least sometimes it is. I don't know if it always is. But I'm curious to see if some people want to buy these because of his upcoming movie, the previous movie, and its connections to Black Adam, and like just trying to figure out more about the characters. This was from 1990. I don't know. My eyes are pretty bad in this small print. Let's see here. 96 maybe. But I mean, this is something I won't be upset if it doesn't sell. I can keep it for myself. That's number 2. Number 3. Number 7 has Mary Marvel on there. I didn't realize I found so many. 11 and 12. Here we got Black Adam on there. And number 13, where he's got that other guy. What's his name? I know I'm going to remember it later. Freddy. And Mary Marvel's on there too. I mean, I might just keep those. Alright, now this one I got, it's beat up but it just looks fun. It's like late 70s Sergeant Rock. Why are Sergeant Rock and Easy Company saluting a Nazi flag? Oh man. It's beat up like I said, but maybe somebody will be intrigued by it, or maybe I am. All right, I found this Extremis stuff for the X-Men. This is number 2. This is number 1. And then this is Exiles number 11 with an old aged rogue on the cover. I mean, I read about the Exiles back when they first did them, which I'm not sure what the years. It's like the early 2000s. And the whole premise, if you have ever seen like Quantum Leap, it's that kind of idea, but Blink's the main character. She can go to different realities. She was introduced in the Age of Apocalypse story that I was talking about from the early 90s. But in the early 2000s, or maybe it was the very late 90s, someone came up with this idea where they'd use her and she would go to different realities and fix problems, kind of just like Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap, but he went in different time periods on Earth. And the cool thing about it was that she would have a rotating roster of teammates, and at any given storyline, one would get killed off or return home, and then they would get a new character, and they'd be characters you knew about, like Wolverine or something, but there'd be something different about them because they're from a different reality. Like there's a version of Mimic from the X-Men where he can have up to 5 powers and at once, and his originally with the original X-Men, but like the one they got had like other people's powers, or maybe it was the originals, but he could drop them and then take on like somebody else's power. So they're always pretty entertaining to me. Even I remember one reality they go to like Squadron Supremes. Like basically it's almost like The Boys before The Boys was written, where their version of like Homelander or Superman, I forget the guy's name, but he was killing everyone. Like it was just crazy. But then the fun thing is they can go to another reality and those people don't matter anymore. Number 10, 8. And this is weird too, because if I'm not mistaken, that looks like they've either got like a cartoon Wolverine or an X-Baby Wolverine on the team. If you don't know about the X-Babies, that's a whole nother thing. I think they're hysterical though. Yeah, there's whatever that is. Maybe it's like I don't know what's going, a tween Wolverine. I don't know. I gotta read this to find out. Number 4 is the variant cover. I'm not gonna say anything about that character if it's who I think it is, but yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Number 5, and this I think led me to just pick up these extermination titles. This is number 4, done up like Uncanny X-Men number 137, but it's a bit different. And this is number 3 here. You got Domino, Meltdown, or Boom Boom. I'm not sure what she calls herself anymore. She can generate time bombs, like little mini grenades, basically. And then there's Shatterstar, Warpath, and I think that's Rachel Gray. I'm not sure. Oh, I was excited about this. I found Nightwing number 75 from recent times. This would have been $6. Nightwing's one of my favorite characters, and to get a very current issue to see how he's doing is really exciting for me. Extermination number 2, and this I'm actually excited about because I remember reading these comics in the 90s, in the early 90s as a kid. And there was this dude, I forget his name, is Ahab or something, or I'm just thinking that because he's got a spear. Well, he had these hounds that would track down other mutants in this alternate reality, Days of Future Past, sort of, if it wasn't, definitely. And Rachel Summers was one of his hounds, but I always wanted more to the story, and it seemed like they didn't really deal it out. There was also a hint that maybe that was Cable in the future, but then that they panned that, I'm pretty sure. But then again, if it's not Cable, is it someone? I'm guaranteeing it's someone. But that at least should be cool. Extermination number 1. Oh, and this, I can't believe people pass this up, because I'm not the only one going through these bins. Any given day, there's geeks like us going through these bins. No offense if you don't identify as a geek, but I am a proud geek. But this was like this is the first appearance of Excalibur from like 1987 or so, and this is where Nightcrawler and Shadowcat, who this is my like second favorite X-Man. Nightcrawler's probably like 7. And there's Rachel Summers in her Hound outfit, which I was getting ready to talk about. That's kind of funny. Just a weird outfit, even if you've got a group of people hunting down mutants, hunting mutants. It's just a weird outfit, man. And there's Captain Britain, and I don't know if it's pronounced Megan or Megan. I always say Megan. But I mean, this should be like, and it's written by Chris Claremont, who made the X-Men popular. And Alan Davis is the artist. And even when it was new, it was $3.25, which was a lot back then. This used to be like a valuable comic in the 90s. But I don't know, I grabbed it. I already have it, but it's a great one to get at this deal. Alright, so now we got some more Savage Avengers. Number 5 variant edition featuring I think it's Dr. Voodoo. It's definitely Voodoo. And I haven't read anything about him, but that's going to change soon. If I can, every night I try to read at least one comic from these stacks, but I've got such a backlog now. This is Namor, the Submariner from the early 90s. I think it's 91. I'm not going to try to read it because it's small, the print. This is number 2, and I got this purely as a test just to see. I mean, this is in my collection from when I was a kid. I picked this up when it was not this same issue, but an identical one. I'm just curious to see if with Wakanda Forever, if there's some people out there that want to delve into this character more. I thought he was done really well in the movie. I like the changes they made. I thought they actually were better than the original story. I got this just because, I mean, it's a number 1, the Avengers, Loki Unleashed, and I figure there's Loki fans out there that might be interested in that. Now this, I briefly looked through the Daredevils and stumbled across this Daredevil 248. I saw Wolverine pops up there. I think this might be like a $10 comic. If there's no buyers out there, I will not be upset adding this to my DD collection. This is like a Monsters Unleashed variant featuring this character named Goon. I think that's the character. I assume that's the character. But, yeah, why not? And, here are the X-Babies I was talking about. So this is X-Men 47 from the 90s. And so you got this character named Mojo, and in his world where Shatterstar and Longshot are from, they have this weird deal. It's a satire on, I guess, the comic book industry, or it's better related to TV with just how ratings drive the creative forces. And some of this I'm putting into words for the first time in my life. But it's like Mojo's basically like your television, I don't know if you want to say CEO or whatever, but he just wants ratings. On his world, ratings are what matter. So they also, it's weird, like they can see like our world or something, so they'll take ideas from that or steal people from it. And somehow they made the X-Babies because they knew the X-Men were popular, so they created the X-Babies. And then somehow the X-Babies every now and then will get to our world, and they're kind of like 12-year-olds or 8-year-olds or something, but they have the powers. Well, maybe they're more like 8-year-old, 8 or 6 or something. They get into some silly stuff. It's I get cracked up anytime I read it. The first time I ever read about them was in this thing called, it's an Excalibur trade called Mojo Mayhem. I highly recommend it. Just this picture like a 8-year-old Wolverine with his attitude, but he's 8. And I don't know, I really like how they were portrayed. This was okay. I've read this. I have this in my collection, but I don't know. And this is a special X-Men anniversary issue from January and sometime in the 90s. I do not know anything other than that at this point. Alright, here's another cool cover. This is issue 353 with Rogue and Wolverine. Obviously, this one had the dumb bone claws. But the art, in my opinion, looks cool. Monster Universe or Monster Unleashed variant edition with, instead of Gwen Stacy, it's Roar Gwen. I don't know what's going on with that, but Avengers 11 with the Wade run, and 14 during the Aaron. I don't know his first name, or Aaron was the writer. Not to be confused with the Wade run, unless he took over at some point for it. All right. Now we're making some headway here. All right. Let me just grab a few of these at a time here. All right, so then I found these Prisoner X titles, which it looks like that's Polaris with the green hair. I don't know anything about it other than, it's a small storyline. The art looks nice. This number 3 and with the Beast, and I like Polaris. Being a big Havoc fan, I've kind of got to like her to an extent. Found these Powers of X. You gotta be careful with these because there's a lot of like third prints and stuff. This is a variant edition. Doesn't say anything about being a second or third print. This is variant edition Powers of X number 6 of 6 with a Tri-Sentinel on the cover. Or maybe there's only one of those. I don't know. I've got the Build-A-Figure for it, but I don't really know the character at all. This is 5 of 5 Avengers, the Origins. I got more of those somewhere in this stack. Earth's Mightiest Heroes number 20, Legacy number 720. This looks like they're dealing with Atlantis here. I always love when they have these silly old school looking fishbowl helmets. Number 21 here, Legacy 721. Oh, that's nice that they made it so that it's 721 and 21. That makes it a little nicer, in my opinion. Number 7 of 704, Legacy 714, Avengers No Way Home. And let's see here. This is number 5, 718 or 715, it looks like. Oh, and Rocket's in there. Number 8. I'm gonna not talk about the Legacy number anymore because it's hard for me to read it. I got 2 of those. I'm gonna set one of those off to the side here to make a auction out of it. 10. Death of Spider-Man, Avengers versus the New Ultimate. So this would be in the New Ultimate universe. The Ultimate universe. Now this one I mainly got just because the art looks really cool, and you've got Punisher on there, plus you've got Nick Fury. And this version of Nick Fury that was created like in 2001 or so, I think it was back then. This is why like Samuel L. Jackson was desired to play the character for as soon as Iron Man, because they knew, we are a kind of, I don't know, it was a cool idea. Like in the Ultimate world, it didn't have to be exactly like traditional Marvel, and in their reality, it just so happens he resembles Samuel L. Jackson. But yeah, it looks cool, and there's some wear up there, but oh well. This is another one of Avengers Origins, number 2 out of 5, and you got Hulk fighting Iron Man. This is Origin number 3 out of 5. Ant-Man and Wasp on it. Number 4 with Thor and Loki's. I got some New Mutants. I stumbled across like a batch I guess people kept missing. There were a bunch of these. 66 with Magic and Forge on there. Number 20. These older ones are nice. The art's really cool. We got Cannonball, Magic, and I believe that's Warlock. This, if it's not his first appearance, or no, I think that's who it is. Like it's when he's getting introduced into the story. And Warlock's Warlock goes on to being, he's part of the Phalanx group that is in that. Like this issue was written in I think it's 84, but the Phalanx story didn't get used or created until the mid 90s or so, but it all connects to that character. Assuming I'm right and that's that and not something else entirely. This is issue 22. This is just some really, the New Mutants were kind of weird in my opinion because they're basically what the X-Men started out as like teenagers, like Teen Titans. They're teenagers being teenagers with powers that they're trying to learn. And I kind of think they were geared towards kids. One of the things I liked most about them was just the downtime. Well, Claremont was really good about making them seem like real people, his characters, because like Cannonball, Sunspot, and the rest of them would get together and watch Magnum PI on the couch at the mansion, and it felt very much to me like, oh, these could be real people, and these would be people you'd want to hang out with. Just like the X-Men would be like playing baseball or softball together. But it was weird because I feel like it was driven more towards kids, but then these covers just to me seem so edgy and do not seem like the same thing. Although, oh, this is good, man. I don't think I have this in my collection. This is 23 where Cloak and Dagger are in there. But like I wouldn't imagine little kids wanting this kind of cover. But like but maybe the writing in there is more advanced than I'm remembering. 23. It was also somewhere in this run, like I think in a few issues from now, or maybe a few issues before this, where they had the Demon Bear story, which was basically made into the movie not too long ago. Number 59. which a lot of people hate it. I don't think liked that movie. Had a lot of things hurting it, but what I liked about it was that the characters looked and behaved the way they should, and the storyline, for the most part, considering the time limits and things, it matched. Well, I haven't read the Demon Bear story since like the early '90s, but I kind of should revisit this art. I like this. The Fall of Mutants, 59. I recommend the Fall of the Mutants storyline. Somebody gets killed in it. 61. The art there. That's when I guess. All right. So, at some point, I guess in issue 60, which is probably why I couldn't find it. They go from just being in the uniforms to now they make their own individual uniforms, which is kind of an oxymoron, but whatever. Alright. We are getting there. Still more than I thought I had left. Let's see. Whew. Alright, so then we got the Uncanny X-Men 347. Now I'm going to give this one away because I didn't realize it, but this is from like a bookstore or something, and they put a sticker on it back. I might be able to get it off, but that one's looking tenacious. But you've got Gambit in here. I think they were in space at the time. Maggot is a very new character. They made a toy of him recently, but I don't really care too much about him. I don't think he's that popular at all, but I could be dead wrong. Now this is another one that is more beat up than I realized. And this is the Uncanny X-Men 355, and they're fighting Alpha Flight. I like the art style. Gotta put those beat up ones off to the side. Savage Avengers number 26 with Doctor Doom, and I feel like I know his name, but I can't think of it. Another one of those issues with Black Widow. Then we got number 19 standard cover with some version of Cyclops on there. I don't know what's going on. And we've got a Mech Strike variant number 18 of the Savage Avengers. I guess that's Black Widow with armor. And then we got another of these 17s. Oh, it's 15. We got Wolverine down there. We got, I guess that's Black Widow. And I don't know who that dude is. I would have thought Firestorm from DC, but I don't think so. Definitely not. Number 12. All right. Oh, I wonder if this involves... Yeah, like Doctor Strange and that eye from the, well, I don't want to spoil anything. Number 9. Oh, Cullen Gath. That's who that guy is. I'm pretty sure that's the guy from, he messed in Uncanny X-Men 190 during that era. He warped New York into being I It was supposed to be like a fantasy, like Conan type setting. Like they're like, but that would explain maybe a connection to Conan. That's cool. Number 8. All right, some more Submariner. Number 5 with Namorita, if I'm saying it correctly, which she's in the Wakanda Forever, but she's blue. Another one of those Marvel Comics 1000s. This one has Venom on the cover, and Spider-Man, of course. All right, so these are modern Excalibur issues, and I got what I could of those. I have no clue if this is good or if it's trash. But you got Rogue, Megan, Jubilee, and I don't know. And Gambit's in the far back. I don't know who's in the middle. 14, variant edition. 6, 5, 4, 3, variant edition. 3's normal cover, I would assume. Number 2, variant edition, and it is a 2099 variant. Number 2. Number 1. This is within a week. I'm going to read this. I vow to do that. All right, so then I got some Eternals. This is issue number 1, premiere variant. Now this is not the true number 1 because they're from the 70s. I'm curious if you saw the movie, if you liked it or hated it or whatever. Please post a comment on that. I liked it. It does not match the book very well, which bothers me. But as a movie, it was fun. I also went back and got the first appearance of a lot of the characters just in case they get popular. But I don't think people generally liked it. Number 5 of the Eternals. Let's see here. And number 5 of a different era of the Eternals. All right. So this one, I just happened to stumble across some Action Comics, or as I think of them, Superman comics. This one has Phantom Lady. She was a 1940s character. She's the inspiration for the Silk Spectre of the Watchmen. Or I'm pretty sure she is anyway. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, I might just be. I don't know. I think they're pretty closely related. So I just thought this was a really cool cover for obvious reasons, and I think that might make it popular as well. This was a neat looking Action Comics 644 with, it might be Bizarro Superman on there. I'm not sure what's going on. I know I've read that. I have it in my collection, but it just looks cool, so why not? Then we got 643. George Perez and, well, I don't know Brett Breeding, but Perez is a big deal. And then we've got issue 642 of Action Comics. If Hal Jordan, that's, the most famous Green Lantern, dies, who will be the new Green Lantern? Well, you got Nightwing in the background and Deadman. This might be a fun read. It's just funny because if I could go back in time, I'd tell him it'll be Kyle Rayner. But that won't be for another few years. This is the first part of that X-Baby storyline. And here you got Bishop, Cyclops, Archangel, Gambit, Rogue, Iceman. Personally, my favorite was the Mojo Mayhem one, which involves the late 80s Australian X-Men team. Alright, then we've got this. This is a nice looking cover here. Issue 45 of the X-Men. Oh, and if it wasn't clear, I had to look for that to figure out. This was issue 328, or it still is, I should say. 331. Now, alright, like I earlier said, I did not like the Grant Morrison X-Men comics, but maybe someone else will, or they'll at least want these covers because of they are cool covers. The art's nice. It's Silvestri, who actually, ironically, was the artist. If he wasn't for the whole run of the late 80s X-Men on Australia, he was a lot of it. I like his style. Shortly after him, Jim Lee took over. So it shows you that they were given some top level talent back then on those runs. I mean, X-Men have always, since the 70s or 80s, have been pretty popular, so they may always get the top talent. But anyway, I tried to get the whole run. There's Nightcrawler on here. This is part 1, part 2. At least I assume that's Nightcrawler. It could be something similar. And I have the 4th one in here somewhere, but I don't know. Even though I did not like them, maybe other people will. And then we got more Eternals. This Neil Gaiman Part 7 of 7 variant edition. I think I've read that digitally. Morbius number 5. I can always read about some vampires. And the variant, this is Legacy number 42, issue 1 of Morbius. I love that even like a character like him that has not had like too many of his own titles, like even they linked his legacies to these old 90s ones. I mean, it makes me kind of want to get the whole 90s set now. Number 2, Legacy number 43. And I got another one. And who is that anyone in particular? It looks like, I can't figure out if that's just a generic character or like, I don't know. It's not Deadpool or Daredevil. But anyway, Powers of X number 1. Action figure variant. And this thing confuses me because I've gotten some other ones. They all say Series 3, but I don't think that actually is like a third volume. I think it has something to do with the action figure thing. I don't know. This is number 3 of Powers of X with action figure featuring Shatterstar. All right, first issue of Prisoner X. And yeah, it looks like your cast are Beast, Polaris, Bishop, and can't offhand tell who the women on the sides are. My guess would be Jubilee and Psylocke. There's one comic book left. And it is Avengers 683, No Surrender. Or the Legacy's number 683, and it's number 9 from this run. But that is it. So what do you think? Did I do well for $100? Or what were the highlights in your opinion? Did you appreciate any of that? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will post a link to my Whatnot account. Please go on there and see if there's anything, if you like it. Follow me. Send me a message letting me know you got there. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to this. But, let me know if there's certain titles that you want me to list. Or next time I go, are there characters I should look for. Thanks for watching and have a great day.